Welcome to Converge Media's Salute to the Negro Leagues, a living room conversation discussing the impacts of Negro League baseball in our communities. I am Bookie Gates, a servant leader and a lover of all things baseball. Last year culminated in the 100-year anniversary of Negro League baseball. It all began in 1920. The Negro National League formed from the determination of Andrew Rube Foster, who was insistent that black teams should be owned by black men. It was at this time Negro League baseball brought forth a thriving ecosystem that produced economic mobility through its sports and entertainment offering. But this effort was long overdue. Even before 1920, Bud Fowler, Frank Leland, Moses Fleetwood Walker, and a host of black ball players explored their potential to play baseball. Their efforts and the efforts of many paved the way for those even on this panel and others in the black community to love and fall in love with the sport of baseball. Joining me today are three distinguished gentlemen, ones who are lovers of the game of baseball just like myself. With me is Andre Redmond, Rick Pitts, and Matt Fields. Brothers, thanks for joining us for this conversation.
Definitely. My pleasure, man. Definitely.
So we're talking about a salute to Negro Leagues and baseball, right? Being the only sport that we ever owned as black people. It's actually the only sport ever owned by black people.
Like, personally, it's crazy, and I'm gonna say just not to cut into time, right? But I didn't know that we owned baseball. I had no idea, right? And that right there hit me even harder because it's like, man, this is something I love to do. I had no clue we owned it. Like, this was ours, and it got taken from us, just like everything else, right? Like, it's intense. And it puts that much more of a stamp on, like, all right, well, I'm here. I have a love for it. This is what I need to do. I need to put myself out there and give as much information as I can, too. So
then when we formed our own league, you had an ecosystem, a thriving space, right, where everything revolved around it. And Omari Salisbury talks about all the time, right? Ticket sales, we own that. We own buses. We own the concessionaires. We own fields because of that.
Did you see the stands in those pictures, man? Just overflowing, man, with melanin.
So what did we lose, right? What did we lose and what did we gain from integration?
It was detrimental, man, to the culture of baseball, man. It hurt us.
Yeah.
It hurt us, man, because it broke up. Basically, it was taking that team's star attraction away. You know, you take the star away, you're gonna take some fans away. You're gonna take some of the enjoyment of the game away from the people that are paying. No, I'm not gonna pay the same to watch a team that doesn't have Satchel Paige, doesn't have, you know, a Buck O'Neil, doesn't have, you know, right, you know, and man, it's sadly, that's, you know, being accepted on that side, just, you know, steady decline.
And it didn't happen overnight, but yet you started to see the wheels fall off.
Yeah, I think we lost more than we gained. We gained opportunity on a higher scale to be able to put a few athletes on the top scale to be seen worldwide. But I feel like if we would have had the Negro Leagues longer, that more of us would have continued to play.
right? And so, like, imagine what we're going through now in this situation, what they're going through back then, like racism, death threats, like not really knowing what was going to happen.
Not even getting the opportunity.
No, like not even getting the opportunity. I think that's what kills majority of, I'll say, African-American players' dreams, is the fact that subconsciously we're like, man, are we actually even getting a fair opportunity, or are we just going into this like blind, right? Because there's a lot of us who should have had the opportunity that didn't get it, and it's not because we didn't want it, it's because somebody else had the control. So then you always doubt yourself, and then from there, then you get lost.
And it still rings true to the day of there's still a select limitation of African Americans getting access to it, right? Unless you're finding organizations that are coming into communities and supporting that. Other than that, it's just pretty much a nitpick, right? We're gonna nitpick who we want. So I believe a decision was just made not too long ago about the merging. So now records
Yeah.
All Negro League records and stats will now merge into and being a part of Major League Baseball history. So now we're going to see a lot of records fall. Right.
Now I got to go back to Cooperstown, man.
Now we got to see who, like, really, Josh Gibson. Now, we always hear they say he was the black Babe Ruth. Well, obviously, Babe Ruth was the white Josh Gibson.
No question.
That's the reality of it is.
Right.
Josh Gibson was not a Babe Ruth. He was a Josh Gibson, and he was something as a catcher. He was something as a hitter. You know, but then you start thinking of the Buck Leonards. You start looking at the Martin DeHigos, who obviously I think and that's the jersey you're donning right now. Martin DeHigo, he was actually the only player ever to be in 5 different countries' Hall of Fames, baseball Hall of Fames. Venezuela, Dominican Republic, United States, Cuba's. You just like,
That's
whoa.
crazy.
Let's just have a conversation. The influences of Negro Leagues. How did Negro Leagues shape your trajectory in wanting to play baseball?
Yeah, I mean, say flat out, man. Just hearing the stories of Negro League baseball, I got hip to the Satchel Paige, I got hip to the Cool Papa Bell, I got hip to the Josh Gibson, I got hip to Buck O'Neil, all of those guys, man. Just and it just made, plus the love of baseball, made me want to just I wanted to see what I could do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stories, like you said, the stories was it for me too. I remember my dad, and whenever I pitched, he called me Satchel Paige. When I'm in the outfield, he called me Cool Papa Bell. And it wasn't until I got older until I really found out who these guys were and appreciate that those were big time compliments that he was giving me.
Huge.
He said, Cool Papa Bell. And I don't know, it's one of these vibes how true it is. He said he's so fast, he hit a ground ball up the middle, and the ball hit him in the head sliding into second base. So I said, if he's running like that, yeah, I'm Cool Papa Bell.
So let's talk about kind of how important is keeping the legacy alive of Negro Leagues with these jerseys, right? We're wearing Josh Gibson, Slim Jones, potentially. We got Buck O'Neil. This could be Jackie's. I don't know what number. I'm number 5, so it could be Satchel. Yeah. Right. But wait a minute. Satchel, Jackie, Buck O'Neil, they had some gamers on one team. It was an all-star team. And then obviously you're down in Martin DeHigo's jersey. Why is it important that we keep this legacy? And Ebbets Flannels, thank you, Ebbets Flannels, for allowing us to use these jerseys for this segment.
Use?
Use? Yeah. Well, we could talk about them. We'll talk to them. If we could start wearing these.
I got to go to the bathroom, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So talk about the importance of it, right? Of keeping this legacy alive of Negro League baseball.
I think the importance, right, like, just for me, is reminding us where everything started and where it came from, right? Like, not the money, not the fame, but the passion of just playing a kid's game and like loving what you do, right? And of course, being African American and doing something that supposedly was unheard of, but being able to be great at it, right? Like that's one thing that's very important.
Yeah, I second that. I definitely need to do, and I'm going to do a lot more homework after today, and just enlighten myself and get more familiar not only with the not so well-known players, but just the league overall, because you never know what spark you're going to give to some young person. The same way we had that spark from our parents or who influenced us about Satchel Paige and Jackie Robinson. It could be somebody in our organization that might start the next BBB or might start another semi-pro like your dad did that could just explode into something else. So that's why it's important to keep it alive, because you never know who you're going to touch, who's going to plant that seed and expand on what we already got.
Within the last month, I was enlightened about, Black Wall Street, and what we had there and what we lost there. Mm-hmm. So, parallel to that, we had, our own league, our own stadiums, our own, following, and the players, man, just, they added so much to the game. That's where, the flair, the style, it's a beautiful thing, especially your baseball. Yeah. That's what we need to get the kids familiar with, is our baseball, There's baseball and everybody loves baseball, but, love yours.
Yeah. So brothers, I thank y'all for joining us. I thank Converge Media. Thank you, Ebbets Flannel. We look forward to continuing to talk about baseball and celebrating Juneteenth, and a salute to Negro League Baseball.